Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another show, another upload. I thank you for my new subscribers. I hope you enjoy the show. Make sure before you leave, you subscribe, you hit that bell notification so you can know every time I upload a new video. I'm trying to give you the best content possible, the best narrative and commentary that you'll probably get anywhere. So, of course, this whole Chappelle situation now is really putting things in a different light. First it was Ye, then it was Kyrie, now it's Dave Chappelle. Now I want you to understand that the gentleman I have on the screen, I'm going to let them talk in a minute, we share the same views on this issue. So I want you to know it's not just me or people that look like me that were just, because they're black, you're here to support them. No. Mm-mm. We support people's free speech regardless of what you look like. Okay? As I've already said in previous videos, we know the things that you shouldn't say, places you shouldn't say it. Fire in a crowded theater being one of them, bomb in an airport, another one of them. All right, so these things are understood. But when somebody posts a link or comes up and does his skit or sketch as a comedian, and then you try to throw him under the bus for it, there's something very wrong and that narrative is incorrect. I want you to please understand that, right? The ADL is not speaking on behalf of Jewish people. I don't know who they're speaking on behalf of, quite frankly. And I don't know what their end game is with all this commotion that they're trying to create. They're trying to stoke fires. I'm not sure why, because I'm not the perpetrator. The ADL are the perpetrators. So they know why they're doing it. I have no clue. But they're way off base and they're basically creating things out of thin air. Basically making up issues that don't exist. So let's hear from Greg first. He has a couple people on the panel I'll also let speak, and then we'll go to just gentlemen over here. All right, let's go.
An anti-Semitism watchdog takes a crap on Chappelle's monologue. Ooh, wow. But let's take a look closer to see if Dave's jokes were kosher. Comedian Dave Chappelle hosted Saturday Night Live this weekend, which could only mean one shocking, mind-blowing thing. The show was funny.
Yeah.
But also, his monologue is being called anti-Semitic by the head of the Anti-Defamation League, giving Chappelle a much-needed break from being called transphobic. Chappelle touched on a wide range of stuff, but drew ire when he joked about Kanye West's recent anti-Semitic remarks and how West lost $1 billion in a day.
There are two words in the English language that you should never say together in sequence. And those words are the and juice. I've never heard someone do good after they said that. He had broken the show business rules. There's just a rule, the rules of perception. If they're black, then it's a gang. If they're Italian, it's a mob. But if they're Jewish, it's a coincidence, and you should never speak about it.
And this is why, even though a lot of people were very upset about what Ye wrote, when I saw the Drink Champs interview, that is when I understood where he was coming from and the reason for his tweet. Now a reasonable person who is seeing that and asked themselves the question, is that a reasonable response to what was happening to him? The answer would be yes. Right? Of course, he could have went the route and named the people responsible specifically. I don't know how many people that would be exactly, but understanding that all the owners of these venues and events and, where there's ticketing agencies and stuff like that were owned by this specific set of people, I could understand the general comment. You know what I mean? But like I said, in the end of it, he said he was jealous of the Jewish people, and that was my conclusion of it. And of course, they did screw him over, so he has problems with certain people. But his conclusion should show you where his heart and his intent is. It was not malicious. Okay, let's let him continue.
It got worse. No. The rest of the 15-minute monologue went the same way in typical Chappelle style. This caused liberals to clutch their pearls, which is odd since they don't do that in response to real crime. Here's more.
Well, I've been to Hollywood.
And let me just say, what he's saying about real crime is true. Anybody who knows anything about our urban cities like New York, Philly, LA, it's been bad, especially since the pandemic. Atlanta has gotten so much worse, right? We've heard of all those high-profile rappers over the past couple of years that have been murdered. People are just on edge. It's crazy on the subways, even on the trains, even on the buses. People get stabbed. Like, real crazy stuff happens. And what do all these liberal mayors and governors do? Oh, well, you need to get vaccinated. What is that supposed to do for the economy and rising inflation and crime on the streets? Is that going to keep me safe on these streets? I don't think so.
I don't want y'all to get mad at me. I'm just telling you. I've been to Hollywood. This was just what I saw. It's a lot of Jews. Like a lot.
The way he said it,
But that didn't mean anything. You know what I mean? There's a lot of black people in Ferguson, Missouri. That made me run the place.
He pulls you in, and then he sets it straight. But does he know they were Jewish? And how does he know Ferguson residents weren't just Sarah Silverman and Jimmy Kimmel?
You see, this is... How much you want to bet that neither of these people have been canceled? Or what's the other one that did it? Howard Stern. Have they been canceled in Hollywood for appearing in blackface? Appropriating black culture as some sort of, comedy sketch or whatever? Do you want to bet your house that these people are out of a job, they can't get work, nobody will work with them? Or are they just fine?
Yeah, now you're awake. And later, he brought it all back to Kanye.
I could see if you had some kind of issue, you know what I mean? You might go out to Hollywood and your mind might start connecting some kind of lines, and you could maybe adopt the delusion that the Jews run show business. It's not a crazy thing to think, but it's a crazy thing to say out loud, and it kind of like this.
The next morning, ADL CEO Jonathan Greenblatt tweeted this: disturbing to see SNL not just normalize, but popularize anti-Semitism. Why are Jewish sensitivities denied or diminished at almost every turn? Why does our trauma trigger applause? So did Chappelle step over the line, or is the Anti-Defamation League leader?
I would really like to know who is actually getting these people to put out these ridiculous tweets. It would really interest me to find out, who the person or people are behind it and what their motives are. Because to me, a person in Chappelle's profession, considering his long tenure, I just don't see how you just throw that on him right after Kyrie, right after Ye, and just expect people to swallow it. Like, I don't know if they just think everybody's stupid and gullible, and because they say it, that the public is going to believe it without any kind of pushback. But you can see right here, we're about to get some pushback. He's already given it indirectly, like, let's go.
Leadership being too sensitive. Either way, Chappelle, he did something few people are ever able to do. He got people to watch SNL and laugh. Rob, you were saying in the green room that, oh, of course the Jews run Hollywood.
Oh yeah, that was that was exactly what I was saying, Greg Gutfeld. That is
all right. We gotta go to a break.
Why he gonna start with the black guy and then throw him under the bus? Yo, Greg is grimy. I know it's comedy, but it's just hilarious. They start with him like, yeah, let me get this other black guy in trouble right away, right quick.
I will say this: black men have been getting in a lot of trouble for this whole thing lately. So for the purposes of this segment, I identify as Asian.
Okay.
Okay, right. So first of all.
Yes, to identify as Asian so you can get in trouble.
I am Asian for 5 more minutes. So when it comes to this whole thing, so look, you know, Kanye lost $1 billion of his net worth, right? If that happened to me, I would be literally minus $999.99999 million. So I don't want to go there. What I will say is this: I think that what Chappelle's great at is sort of making us uncomfortable through humor. And my thing with these sort of off-color humor is this: if it can't be racist or sexist or homophobic or anti-Semitic if I laugh, I mean, that's what I've always thought. I don't know.
You're saying funny overrides everything.
Funny overrides everything. There used to be a comedian named Lisa Lampanelli who told the craziest racist jokes, but I always laughed. I'm confused.
She was amazing on those roasts, just absolutely disgusting. I'm saying what?
I don't remember her material. I'm more of a George Carlin guy. I like George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy. You know, these old school comedians. These are the ones that I watched. But he's right though, like the comedy aspect of it is supposed to be the overarching factor. You're at a place where you're in an audience with a professional comedian. He's been doing this for years. I mean, Dave has a long reputation in the industry. Long reputation. Now all of a sudden there's these issues that are current, very current. This situation with Kyrie has not been sorted out yet. Let's face it. Situation with Ye still hasn't been sorted out. Right? Adidas dropped them like hot potatoes. Balenciaga, Gap, all of them. It hasn't been sorted out. It's still a very hot issue. So he comes out and he steps in it a little bit. I think he could have went a very different route of it, more abrasive, but he didn't. You know what I mean? Because as he's black, right? He's at the top of his game. He's like probably the best comedian out there, hands down, right? Like I don't think there's anybody that if I was offered a ticket and I was given a Dave Chappelle ticket, I would look at it and be like, oh, I really want to see Chappelle, but this guy. Take the Chappelle ticket, right? So I don't know, man. It's too much. They making it so hard for people to just get along because the people like these ADL people are out here just creating problems out of thin air, basically speaking. That's what they're doing.
Did she pass away?
No, I think that she's still around. But I was never offended because she never told any anti-Asian jokes.
Oh, it's terrible what they're doing to you at Harvard, by the way.
It really is. I hope that my people.
I hope that your people can overcome this. Morgan, I believe you're Jewish, correct?
Yes.
See, I got it this time. So, Morgan, you're Jewish. Before he started his monologue, Chappelle read a statement denouncing anti-Semitism.
He did.
Did that help him, or did it not matter, or what did you take away from it as a Jewish person?
He's my favorite comedian of all time, after you, of course.
Oh, thank you.
But he's the guy that
Because I'm
came
Jewish? I'm not actually.
I know. We'll let you in.
See, he's not Jewish. So we're talking about a white Anglo-Saxon male, right? We had the black guy, and now we have a Jewish woman. So these two, that's already 3 different perspectives, right? Let's hear what the
Make
Jewish
enough money
woman
too.
has to say.
Oh my God. Oh, you're
Don't edit that out. That was funny. Okay. He's the comedian that came up with Black Bush during the height of the Iraq War, like one of the funniest skits ever. So I like him. I also think there's a big difference.
Yo, Black Bush was hilarious, but the black white supremacists, come on, son. Come on. That to me, that sketch blew everything out the water. That Tyrone Biggums and the player haters ball.
Intent, right? He was being funny. Kanye was just being a and it wasn't funny, and he was being racist, but he's being funny, and he was making fun of everyone. He made fun of Herschel Walker, who was also black. So I think, listen, I didn't get offended at all. I think he's funny. I think we need to lighten up. There's lots of real anti-Semitism going on around the world, and I don't put Dave Chappelle in them.
All right, what do you think, Kat? Applaud. Applaud the Jewish woman. Now let's go to you, Kat. Raised Catholic.
Yep.
Polish.
Yes.
Thoughts?
I think that like all the articles about this, they already.
Why is she looking up in the air? What's going on with her?
Wrote before he did it, and then they just replaced transphobic with anti-Semitic. Because he's making jokes, like Morgan said. He's just making jokes. But when it comes to like the Anti-Defamation League, this isn't really new. I mean, they had a problem with Joan Rivers years ago referencing the Holocaust in a joke, and if Joan Rivers is anti-Semitic, she's terrible at it.
Yeah. Now, I know for a fact she is dead.
She is dead. She is dead, but also like her late husband lost all of his family in the Holocaust.
Yeah.
So I just feel like when it comes to jokes, it's really not that serious.
So her late husband lost his entire family in the Holocaust. She made a joke referencing it, and then she's anti-Semitic. But she married a Jewish man. Somebody help me to make it make sense. Seriously. Because it don't make a lick of sense.
Serious joking is the opposite of serious, so people need to just.
It just dawned on me when you said that like, how can a joke be defamation if it's a joke? So why is the Anti-Defamation wasting all of their time chasing a joke when they should be doing... You're not the Anti-Joke League. You're Anti-Defamation League. I saved the Joe for last.
That is the question that has been on my mind. What is the purpose behind these labels being placed on these guys? What is the end game? Right? Dave Chappelle is a comedian. He made jokes. Kyrie, a basketball player, he only posted a link. He didn't say anything inflammatory. Both of them are being drawn in by the ADL for some reason. Like, I don't understand. I really don't. It is literally rolling around in my head, and I still cannot put my finger on it, apart from like they're trying to start some black versus Jew type 2022 war. But to what end, I have no idea. Anyways, let's go to this gentleman over here. I'm just going to play him for a few seconds, but it's pretty much the same with him. You know what I mean? Like,
we're going to talk about Dave Chappelle. the other day he was on Saturday Night Live. The GOAT was on Saturday Night Live. It was the first time I watched Saturday Night Live since, well, probably the last time he hosted. Anyway, as we know, he kind of went out there, he set the world on fire, and he said some things about Kyrie Irving, really and truly defending the fact that Kyrie Irving should be allowed to play in the NBA, and what the Nets were asking Kyrie to do was utterly ridiculous. And he is also, as we know, he has been a victim of attempted cancellation, except you can't cancel the GOAT when the GOAT doesn't give a shit. And we know Dave Chappelle does not give a rat's ass. Now, Dave Chappelle and I agree on most nothing politically, but the one thing we do agree on is cancellation is bullshit. Plain and simple, I think Kyrie Irving should be playing basketball right now. And, you know, he's got the right to say certain things, I believe, without his job being put in peril. And I do believe, and I will continue to say it, I think a lot of this crap has got to do with the fact that Kyrie did not want to bend the knee last year and get vaccinated. Because it seems some of the same people that...
Boom. This is exactly what I was saying. If you look at my video about Kyrie Irving, I think the first part of the title says Kyrie Irving, where's my money? So Kyrie Irving, then colon, where's my money? Yeah, I think that's what I called it. Last year, he took a stand for himself, as I did, as I said previously. I got terminated for what they claim is misconduct. But Kyrie didn't take it. And he lost a lot of money for all those games that he had to sit out. And I think people were kind of salty about it. Maybe even the Nets. Who knows? But the mayor did make some concessions for entertainers and athletes, so they made a way around it for them. I mean, not for the rest of us, which is so uncool, but, you know, whatever. He ended up not taking it, which, you know, I think will serve him because he's only 30 years old. Who knows what that crap will do to you down the road, right? But I think a lot of people were angry at him for that because they said a lot of nasty things about him. If anybody remembers last year when that whole thing was going on, there was a lot of dirt been thrown on his name. And I think this was an opportunity. This little post, it was like the straw that broke the camel's back or the donkey's back. And they just went in on him because I did not see the movie. What I've heard from people that saw it, the claims are false. Okay, it's a secondhand. I have not seen it yet. I haven't had the time. It's like 200 and something minutes long, so forgive me, I haven't seen it. But as I'm told, you know, it is light work compared to the Hebrew Israelites on the streets that will basically open you a new one. You know what I mean? For sure. You know.
That he pissed off then are some of the same people that's pissed off now.
Most likely the libtards.
Let's be real. Okay.
Yeah, let's keep it 1,000.
What Dave Chappelle did, we found out. I did a video on the other channel about the comments he made about Kyrie. I will go over those comments again. Some of it was really funny too, by the way. But what he did is classic Dave Chappelle. We are finding out now that what Chappelle did was he actually went into Saturday Night Live rehearsal and he did a completely fake opening monologue with SNL and their writers and their staffers so he could go out and do the one he actually wanted to do. He faked every...
Now, this is the first person I'm actually hearing say that. I was not aware of that. But it would make sense, granted, that there was talk of people not wanting to work with him when they found out that he was going to be the one doing the monologue and he was going to be the one on SNL. So you actually have people that work at this place that refused to work with him and was like, oh no, you know what? I'm sitting out. Like, that whole paper thin personality, no backbone type. This is where that book, The Coddling of the American Mind, this is where things like this come into play, because you have these soft pancake cheesecake types that they can't take any criticism. Words destroy them, not even aimed directly at them. I mean, I can understand when a person comes to you and tells you, Stanley, you're a piece of shit. Okay, Stanley should be highly upset about that. But, but he says something about, well, let's say Stanley's part of an Indian race, right? And they say something disparaging about Indians. Like, how personally do you have to be begrudgingly holding on to that? Like, you know what I mean? Especially in a comedic sense, or even with the post from Kyrie. Like, where do people get off even making the assumption that that is anti-Semitic because it's connected with something, as I said, that he does not profit off of? He didn't direct, didn't produce, didn't write. Anyways.
Everybody out. He lied to him. That's lied crazy. To him so he could go out and talk about Kyrie. He did a fake monologue with them, and then when the show opened, classic Dave Chappelle fashion, he went out and said exactly what he wanted to say. Let's get to this.
I love it.
This is page 6, and we'll have an assist from Breitbart.
I love it.
Dave Chappelle switched SNL monologue between rehearsal
it's actually
in the live show. Dave Chappelle did a, quote, fake Saturday Night Live monologue during the show's dress rehearsal, sources said, and then switched his material for the live show. I love it. A source told page 6. Too.
So, there you have it. You can check this guy's channel out. What was it? Black and White Sports Channel. Of course, Greg Gutfeld. I used their material to bring this to you so you could see a meeting of the minds, basically. Right? There's only one black guy among Greg, the Jewish woman, the other woman, and this guy. And then me and the black guy. Right? All aligned in thought of what exactly is going on. Like, what are y'all people talking about? You know what I mean? This is where we're at, but this is the narrative that they're creating, not them in front of me, but of course the ADL and that sort of ilk will put out there that all these guys are anti-Semitic and all this other stuff. You can't believe the hype, people. You truly can't. And I would even go a step further and say you have to be careful when people pump those narratives out there so fiercely, right? And they're so dogged about, getting it out there and having people believe it. My sense is that there's a more sinister reason behind it that we're not aware of. But there has to be. Who is Noah Kyrell? Noah Kyrell is this pretty young thing, pretty young lady, who wore a Kanye West printed outfit to, what is it called? EMA 2022. I believe this was on Saturday or Sunday in Dusseldorf, Germany. All right. I believe that's where it is, Dusseldorf. Yeah, Germany. Right, and she happens to be, where is it? I am both Jewish and Israeli. All right. There's no statement from her exactly, but supporting him. But obviously, by wearing this, she I guess she hasn't understand. From what I understand, she's only like 21, but she probably knows enough about the industry to know certain things already because she's only 21 and she's supposedly like their top, um, young entertainer or whatever the case is from the Israeli country. So there you have it. That's my take. It's fluff. The ADL here in America is making a big thing over it. Here you have this Israeli singer wearing a Kanye West outfit. Of course, she has on her six-pointed star and things of the like. She has Ye wearing a six-pointed star. But, you can't always go with the narrative. Sometimes you gotta do your own research, look stuff up, look at what other people are saying. When you hear stuff in social media, man, you gotta do some digging, get different points of views, get people that are gonna speak truth, people that are gonna speak facts, not people that are just gonna come with their feelings, because facts and feelings, they tend to conflict. Let's be honest. Facts and feelings, they don't often mix well. It's like water and oil. You know what I mean? So let's just stick to the facts. That's what we should do. Anyways, that is my time. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, as I said before. Like it, obviously, and share it. If you have a comment, drop it. I'll try to answer it as soon as I can. Until next time, peace, cheers, and I'm out.